Hello and welcome to the Vendor Corner on Universal Heritage Television Naija. Today, the 28th day of April 2022, we are located at the FMC Junction here in Owerri, and we'll have a paper stand where we're going to be doing the review this morning. I am your regular host, Akobidima, and I promise it's going to be interesting. The papers are already lined up this morning, and we'll have the daily tabloids. We also have the national papers, all of them on the table this morning. And I have somebody that's going to be analyzing the paper with me this morning. I have Mr. Chigozie Nwanosike, who is a practicing journalist. Mr. Chigozie Uzosike is a practicing journalist here in Imo State. Mr. Chigozie, you're welcome to the Vendor Corner.
Thank you very much. God bless you. All
right, so let's start with the local papers as we have this morning. We have the Watchdog newspaper. We have the Watchdog newspaper. The Watchdog newspaper has a big caption here. It says, Owerri Senate seat, group X-rays profiles of APC aspirants. Settles for Jerry Chukwueke. Says he is asset to the zone. Okay. Group Owerri Senate seat, group X-rays profiles of APC aspirants. Settles for Jerry Chukwueke. Says he is asset to zone. Okay, 2023, Ararume consults Okigwe PDP leaders with a rider, vows to deliver victory for party. Okay, beside the mass headline here, it says Imo government gives victims mass burial, illegal refinery explosion. Imo government gives victims mass burial. Okay, another caption here says Imo NSCDC commandant flogged, battered by policemen for detaining colleague. Oga, they vandalized my vehicle, took away my pistol, AK-47. Imo NSCDC commandant flogged, battered by policemen for detaining colleague. Oga, they vandalized my vehicle, took away my pistol, AK-47. Okay, another caption here says a plot to sell NUJ property. Akaronye Igbe Isiguzo risk jail term for impersonation. Journalists remain resolute. Plot to sell NUJ property. Akaronye Igbe Isiguzo risk jail term for impersonation. Journalists remain resolute. So let's start with the story of the fracas between the NLCDC and the police in Imo State. A few days ago, the residents of Owerri were terrified by the open confrontation, shooting between the civil defense corps and the police. And the stories are now coming out gradually. This morning, this story is saying that the commandant of NLCDC was flogged, battered by policemen for detaining their colleague. What do you make of these developments?
For me, I would rather say that incident that took place last Monday was quite unfortunate because especially that we are trying to encourage, the government is trying to encourage the people to come out on Mondays to go about their normal businesses. And it's also unfortunate that the two sister security agencies we have come this far. I was wondering if this issue happened on Tuesday when that street was very busy. It will have actually caused a stampede, and who knows, life might have been lost. We are just trying to recover from the Abezi Ebema, tragedy, and so for me, that is unfortunate. And those involved, the police and the civil defense, should also find a way to, resolve, resolve those issues and bring those that are involved to book so that it doesn't reoccur in the nearest future.
All right, that's the story we are taking from the Watchdog this morning. Let's go to the News Point. Let's take a look at the News Point newspaper. The big caption here. Okay, I think we took this story yesterday. This news point was here yesterday, so we've had the story. Yeah, Wednesday edition. So news break. I think news break, is it today? Wednesday edition. Okay. Let me look at the big truth. Let me look at the big truth. The big truth is still Wednesday edition. Okay. Okay. Trumpeter has a current edition. So that's a Trumpeter. It has a current edition. So the screaming headline here says, at last, Okorocha's last man standing, Kingsley Uju, joins PDP for reps. At last, Okorocha's last man standing, Kingsley Uju, joins PDP for reps. Another caption here says, Biafra, court adjourns Kanu's case on Kenya arrest to May 12. Biafra, court adjourns Kanu's case on Kenya arrest to May 12. Crown Harvest Churches, Owerri holds inaugural convention as founder. Reverend Ebondo admonishes Christians. Okay. BK 2023 is not yet time for Ikeduru. The Eronini blows hot. BK 2023 is not yet time for Ikeduru. The Eronini blows hot. All right. Another one here says, Okorocha, only people like us will decide if Igbos will leave Nigeria. Okorocha, only people like us will decide if Igbos will leave Nigeria. Another caption here says, fear of losing positions forces Imo lawmakers to remain in APC. Fear of losing positions forces Imo lawmakers to remain in APC. Okay, we are likely going to take maybe, okay, another smaller caption here says, Imo government takes step to end oil bunkering. Imo government takes step to end oil bunkering. Okay, let's start with this last story because of the mood in the state and what actually happened. The roasting of over 150 people via the illegal oil bunkering activities in Egbema. And now Imo State government has set up steps to end the bunkering. Do you think they are serious?
Well, I want to believe that that incident, went global, and it behoves the state government to take drastic action to ensuring that the issue of bunkering, is brought to a perpetual end, if you ask me. Because apart from the fact that lives, were lost, at our base, Egbema, you will also begin to see the multiplier effect if we continue to encourage the, bunkering that is going on there, where people buy kerosene, buy fuel, and at the end of the day, see houses, getting in explosion. So for me, this is an emergency. Every other thing can wait, but the issue of oil bunkering should not wait, especially that lives, very serious lives have been lost. And I think the world is looking at the government to see how serious is going to handle this issue to ensure that if you go there, you see some tankers packed, waiting to collect this, adulterated fuel and kerosene. That too has to stop. If whatever the state government is doing, it has to be fast, and then so that it should be able to restore back the confidence of the people that the issue of bunkering will be a thing of the past.
All right, another story here, 2023 presidency, Emeka Nwajuba under fire, over 100 million naira form while varsity teachers are on strike. Nigerians are talking since the man picked his form, either yesterday or the day before yesterday, a whopping 100 million naira, and universities are on strike. This is the junior minister for education.
Yes, when I saw that story, I was also surprised myself because the question one should be asking is 100 million is not a small money. And if care is not taken, the ASU strike that has refused to be resolved, which is for me is a little money compared to how much is being spent. If you check the newspapers of today, you will discover that in APC secretariat yesterday or thereabout, somebody came in with 42 point something million into the secretariat.
Yeah,
dollars. No, 72 something, $75. I'm talking about naira now. Yeah, so imagine one person coming into the secretariat with such amount of money, and then imagine when you have 30 40 persons coming with such amount of money just to purchase the forms. I'm also scared that the ASU strike might not be resolved because if you check, governance seems to have ended. Yeah. Today we are talking about politics. And I'm looking at the implication that if the ASU strike is not resolved, wherein our students will get back to school and get serious with their studies, they might become willing tools, thugs in the hands of some of the overzealous politicians. So for using 100 million to purchase a form, I was also thinking maybe it could also be a ploy or a gimmick for the government or APC to seclude some other persons. Because from my record, it seems to me that Emeka Nwajoba is
just for the money bags.
The first person from the southeast who has just purchased the form. And then before now, we've not heard about Emeka Nwajoba. Yeah. So I'm beginning to think about some games being played within the Aso Rock. And then because
maybe the anointed one?
You might not be far from the truth because Emeka Nwajoba, is a kitchen cabinet of this present government. Yeah. He's an insider, and so he has been with the president for so long a time. So I am thinking far. I don't know if you're going to join me in thinking that far because he might. You'd be shocked that this 100 million didn't even come from him. Somebody must have bought this form for him.
A group claimed they bought the ticket for him.
Yes.
But in the Nigerian parlance, we know how those things work. When somebody come and say they are buying tickets.
Somebody's telling me that he's going to buy a form for Tinubu. So, so at the end of the day, they will bring the money and give it to a group. To say, oh, you guys purchased the form for me. So that when you get them to account for the money, they say, it's not my business. Group bought the form for me. Yeah. But I think that Emeka Nwajoba should, apart from purchasing the form, if he becomes the anointed, to God be the glory. Southeast will be there. But let them also get back to the ASU issue and find a way to resolve it.
All right. Okay, we have another story of interest here. Okorocha, he says, only people like us will decide if Igbos will leave Nigeria. Is Okorocha that popular in Southeast in terms of decision making to influence such a decision if it happens?
Well, for me, that decision is rather too ambiguous. It's like it's blown out of proportion. Okorocha alone cannot determine the position of the Southeast. I also think that the Southeast needs to come out with a blueprint or a template. You see, as politics has stepped in, Abdul, don't be shocked that people will be speaking from both sides of their mouth. Some will approbate and reprobate at the same time. And for me, Okorocha's statement is rather ambiguous. I would personally need him to break it down to enable me know how he's going to ensure that there is a unity in the Southeast. That's my own thinking.
All right. Okay. Okay, that's the much we'll take from the Trumpeter newspaper this morning. Let's look at the lead. The lead. Okay, the lead is on Wednesday. It's Wednesday edition. We took it yesterday. Okay, so let's go to national papers now. Let's go to national papers. Let's look at the Nation. Let's look at the Nation newspaper. We'll have the big caption here. It says, Ibazu Ugwuanyi Okowa in race for senatorial tickets. Ibazu Ugwuanyi Okowa in race for senatorial tickets. With riders here, attention in Niger, Taraba, others over slots. Parties moderate struggle for positions. Okay, another caption here says, Ngige Nwajoba insists no resignation before primaries. Ngige Nwajoba insists no resignation before primaries. Okay, Wike lawmakers disagree over attack on PDP secretariat. Wike lawmakers disagree over attack on PDP secretariat. FEC approves 853 million for Ajokuta Steel concessioning. FEC approves 853 million for Ajokuta Steel concessioning. Top headlines here. We have Kanu's 25 billion naira suit against federal government now May 12. Kanu's 25 billion naira lawsuit against federal government now May 12. Umahi Why Speaker Wifuru is my preferred candidate for governor. Omai, why Speaker Wifuru is my preferred candidate for governor. PVC is ready for collection in Rivers Ebonyi, says INEC. PVC is ready for collection in Rivers Ebonyi, says INEC. With a rider, gunmen kill APC stalwart in Bayelsa. All right, let's now look at the major headline here. It says that Ibazu Ugwani Okowa in race for senatorial ticket. It seems that the Senate is now a reservation for governors that are finishing their tenures. So, are you excited by this?
For me, it's funny because I sometimes ask who even vote these people into power in the first place? The people. And then if it's not the people, then who? That's why we are also encouraging people to go and pick their PVC and ensure that some of the governors who have not done very well are stopped. And then so that when they are stopped, those that are coming in will also know that if you don't do well, no Senate for you. Yeah. So that they will begin to sit up. Because if this trend or this pattern continues, where you become a governor at the end of your 8 years or thereabout, you just simply move into the Senate. For me, that is a misnomer, in the democratic process, and we must begin to check. Because for me, they are not the best, or they might not be the best in terms of representing the people, in the Senate. They can also allow others to get in there so that we can also tap from their own experience. We have seen them 8 years. We have seen what they can offer. Most of them have not done very well in their states. And then if you have not done very well in a state that has autonomy, so I'm thinking how much you can do in just a senatorial district. Okay,
this other caption says Ngige Nwajoba insists no resignation before primaries. The Ngige Nwajoba, of course, we know about the amended electoral act. Yeah. What it says that public officers are supposed to resign, before party primaries and even convention of the party. But the High Court in Umuahia gave a judgment which the Attorney General is upholding. But it's on appeal now. And when he went to appeal, the appeal court had warned both parties to ensure that they don't do anything that will undermine the matter that is before them. So, but these people are insisting that they are not going to resign before participating in primaries. What do you see happening at the end of the day?
That tells you that some of them are not popular. If you're popular, if you're popular, you step down or you resign. Resignation is not sack. You resign and you contest. You test your popularity. If you win, you move. If you don't win, the government can find you worthy again to reabsorb you. But see how scared they are. And for me, they are moving against the tide of the electoral act. Of course, they will resign. If they don't resign, that opportunity might not be provided for them. It might actually come again.
Would that be endangering their party, going forward with the election? Maybe if it gets, we know that the hog of Nigerian legal procedure, most times it ends at the Supreme Court. So if it eventually ends at the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court affirms that they should resign while they didn't resign, does it not portend danger for their parties? It
means that the party will have cast their vote, on the wrong person that will be thrown out in the future. It means that the runners-up will now take that position. So it's also a risk. That's why the party also needs to, insist that if you want to contest, you resign, so that we don't have a hiccup along the line. And that's what the party should talk about. So if they are saying they will not resign, it simply means that they are like, wow, are you sure we are going to win if we resign? So that we don't lose both our position and...
it will be like a gamble. All right. Okay, let's go to New Telegraph. The New Telegraph newspaper. The New Telegraph, that's the New Telegraph newspaper. And the big bold line, the big headline says, Labour Minister dares APC, says he won't resign. Labour Minister dares APC, says he won't resign. Another caption here says, CBN data confirms drop in external reserves by $128.4 million. CBN data confirms drop in external reserves by $128 $1.4 million. 2023, Nigeria needs courageous leader. PDP ex-ministers forum. Thousands storm APC secretariat as Bello picks nomination forms. $418 million Paris Club fund refund. Court grants substituted service of contempt charge against 4 sons. US out of COVID-19 pandemic phase, says Dr. Fossey. All right, police recruitment, only 1,569 Southeast applicants shortlisted, Police Service Commission. Oba Adeyemi's younger wives can raise children through new Alafi Archbishop Lagibolu. Okay. Another one here says that Senate prohibits ransom payment to kidnappers. That's the New Telegraph. So let's take 2 stories here. The first one is the police recruitment, where the Police Service Commission has said that only 1,569 Southeast applicants were shortlisted for this exercise. So what does it tell vis-a-vis the security situation in the Southeast and the cry for marginalization? Cry against marginalization.
Well, for me, this police recruitment has been on, and I'm also aware that a lot of call, has been made on our youth from the Southeast to apply, and unfortunately, you could see the number very, very short and very small. Now, if you check 1,569 and you begin to even divide by the 5 Southlands, it will tell you the number that we have in the Southeast. And so for me, we have just marginalized ourselves in that aspect because that employment was made open as much as I know. And then, so we must begin to ensure that when these opportunities come, such like this.
What would be the reasons why you think the people decided to marginalize themselves?
Well, it's still the issue of the general marginalization, that sense of marginalization, that sense of even when we apply, we will not be successful. But sometimes, if you run with that impression, you might not actually get to the point.
The experiences of those in service also.
Yes.
Because we have there are people that complain. Some people from certain parts of the country, they will always have rapid promotions, good, as they call it, juicy postings. But the people from certain other places like the Southeast now complain of non-promotions, poor posting and all that, So maybe these are also part of the reasons why.
Another reason could also be the poor remuneration of the police officers. And
especially in the Southeast, where people
in the Southeast, business. Yes. Coupled with the attacks on the police stations, somebody will tell you, "I don't want to be a police officer, so that I am not killed." So these are issues that could have accounted for that low, participation.
All right. Okay. So that's the New Telegraph. Let's look at another paper here. Let's look at which other national. Okay, we have the Punch. The Punch is here. We have the Punch newspaper is here. The Punch newspaper is here, and a big screaming bold line says Electoral Act. More commissioners step down as Buhari's ministers refuse to go. Electoral Act. More commissioners step down as Buhari's ministers refuse to go. Right as here, Governor Tambuwa's 11 commissioners, SSG Chief of Staff resign. Amosu joined presidential race. Yaya Bello, Wajuba picks forms. I won't resign, says Ngige. NLC flays campaigning amid ASU strike. So I would like you to capture all these together. Capture them together.
Now, you see, some of the APC appointees, they're also moving against the party. So if the commissioners are resigning in the states, so why wouldn't the ministers also resign at the federal level? And
as the party giving that directive, or that instruction that they should.
The party doesn't need to give that. It's already in the new electoral act amended. That is what is there. So now why are the commissioners resigning? So the ministers should also resign and join in the context. Are you getting the point? Yeah. Just like you see the NLC, just which we have talked about that. It's also dangerous to begin to campaign and even have elections while ASU is on strike.
Yeah.
Those are issues that we need to also talk about, because I'm afraid that governance has stopped. And if nothing is done about this, it might increase the already tense violence that we have. So these are issues we need to talk about, and people should begin to canvass against campaigning while the ASU is on strike.
All right. I caption here says the Senate prohibits ransom payments. Abductees' families seek talks with bandits. Senate prohibits ransom payment. Abductees' families seek talks with bandits. We understand there's a bill at the National Assembly, at the Senate, trying to prohibit the payment of ransom to criminals who have who adopt people or who kidnap people. And the question becomes, what will be the fate of the kidnappers? Have we improved our security agencies so much so that they can rescue these people, conveniently and comfortably? What's your take on that?
The Senate has just told us that they have been overwhelmed by the kidnappers. They shouldn't be talking about ransom. They should be talking about how to curtail and bring to end, fight head-on the Hydra, headed monster called kidnappers, and bring them to an end. Not telling me that if my own person is kidnapped, I shouldn't pay a ransom. That's not the way a country should go.
Because people are actually paying the ransom because of the failure of the security operatives in rescuing these people.
Until the government does something to curtail and bring to an end the issue of kidnapping. You can't have your person kidnapped and you go and sleep when you know that the government might do nothing to rescue your victims.
For instance, those who were kidnapped at the Abuja-Kaduna-bound train, it's about 4 weeks now. They've been in captivity and nothing has happened.
Has the government rescued them?
And you are telling people not to pay ransom.
And then the bandits have just shown their pictures for ransom negotiation to start. When to start that negotiation? To have your loved ones back. So the Senate should be talking about how to address the issue of insecurity in the country, and not talking about payment of ransom. If there is no kidnapping in the country, if there is no insecurity, if there is no insurgents, if there is no banditry, the issue of ransom wouldn't even emerge in the first place. So they should address the first port of call, which is insecurity, and don't forget about those ransom. It doesn't make sense.
We have a picture here. We have a picture here of pensioners who are protesting in Abia State. They are protesting a non-payment of 38-month arrears in Abia State. It does seem we have this pension challenge has become a very serious problem for some states, especially here in the southeast. In Imo here, I don't know if that of the Imo has been addressed. It seems the pensioners are now, they're tired and exhausted, and they've just left it to God. You see in Abia State, they're also protesting 38 months.
The governors do not want to pay pension. They would rather come up with one verification or the other. Okay, now look at these people protesting in Abia, and then a governor from that state wants to run for what? Senate. Can you reconcile the two? So it tells you that there's already bad governance in Abia, and it is upon that bad governance that no one should, be allowed to move away from the state and then move to Senate. For me, Senate, let's go there and relax. Okay. When their states are not in.
Yeah. Okay, so let's wrap up now with a sporting story. Let me look at the Sporting Sun. That's the Sporting Sun here, and he has this report. The big caption there is Napoli bans Osimhen. Napoli bans Osimhen from shopping, clubbing. Napoli bans Osimhen from shopping, clubbing. Messi ranked third best performing player in Europe. Messi ranked third best performing player in Europe. Louis unhappy at Bayern. And Mbappe for president. Mbappe for president. Okay, let's look at the story. Napoli bans Osimhen from shopping club. I don't know if you're a sports enthusiast, but as a journalist, I know a journalist is somebody who knows something about everything. So let's look at this story here on page 6. Page 6 it says Serie A aside, Serie A side, Napoli has banned Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen and his teammates from social activities till further notice. If information published on the club Twitter account is anything to go by, it was gathered the Naples took the decision to outlaw the goal poacher and other members of the team in order to concentrate on forthcoming crucial matches capable of fetching the side next season's UEFA Championship League slot and a top 4 finish on the domestic league table bin. Okay, at the end of the day, this is not a punitive action, rather it is a cautionary one, just to see if it will enable them garner the needed concentration to be able to move. Do you think it's a good one?
Yes, for me, I am not a sports aficionado. That's what you call it, right?
Okay.
What I mean, I don't dress up to go and watch football, but when I'm there taking my drinks in the bar, I can watch the ball. One thing about sport that I like is it takes you away from the whole tension and pressure. So people today will want to go for sports instead of going for the regular newspaper because of a lot of killings and politicking that are not, that do not translate to the practical situation on ground. So people want to go for sports, read it and be happy, see the signing, the counter signing, the sacking and what have you. So that's why sometimes people, I like sport because it makes you, it relaxes your nerves and takes you away from the glossolalia, of politics, if you ask me.
All right. Okay, on that note, we are going to draw the curtain. We've come to the end of the program, and we want to thank our special guest here who has done the analysis with us this morning, Mr. Chigozie Uzosike. Okay, this day, time is not allowing us. Time is not allowing us. Maybe when we come tomorrow, we'll be able to look at those other ones. Yeah. But I want to thank Mr. Chigozie Uzosike for being our guest this morning. He's a journalist here in Imo State, high-ranking one for that matter. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. God bless you.
We also want to thank our host, the woman who always avail her stand for us for this analysis. Ella again.
This is Sarah Ngos.
Whatever. Okay. Imena, and she has a dual business here. She also does akara. You see the akara there, camera. Clear the way. Let them get the akara. You see the special balls of akara she's making. Beautiful ones there. Okay. All right. We are ending the program here. We want to thank you for watching, and tomorrow we'll be back for another edition of the Vendor Corner on Universal Heritage Television Naija. And we urge you to keep watching our channel and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Universal Heritage Television Naija so that we can be bringing you updates of our broadcasts. Till I come tomorrow, I am your regular host, Obidima Ako, and I say bye-bye.